We're at the Jostens headquarters in Minneapolis, where we just got done judging the Jostens photo contest. Jostens sponsors the photo contest, I think, for a couple of reasons. It's a cool way to recognize all the outstanding work that middle school and high school kids are doing with their photography. It's a great recognition opportunity and also a great educational opportunity. We bring judges in from around the country. It's always important to me that we get judges from different parts of the country. So our judges this year were from Texas and Oregon and Minnesota. And I like to get a combination of judges that have professional photography background and education background and our yearbook advisors as well into the mix. We had, I think, around 8,000 photos today. I like the interaction the judges had and the thought that went into the pictures. What happens is we put all the photos out on great big long tables and we look at a category at a time, and the judges vote actually with little cups if they see a photo that they would like to continue on into the competition. That narrows the field significantly, and it's more about the discussion. The judges really interact and talk about the pictures and the techniques used and the composition, and then when we're done with each category, the judges have the first through fifth and several honorable mentions for each category.
It's not about expensive equipment. It's not about, fancy lenses or anything like that. It's just a basic understanding of the functions of your camera and then putting yourself in the right situation to capture good images.
They're very simple images, and they each had a story to them, and it's very clear what the message was. And so if you can figure that out, your pictures will be a lot better, and all the technique that you know will be put into action to make that one photograph. I really like the feel of this photograph. There's a really great moment. It's not your typical loud moment, it's a quiet moment.
I like it coming from above and slightly tilted. It has an authentic feel to it.
I'm not sure this image would have been as strong in color, but I'm immediately drawn to the fact that it's a higher angle, shallow depth of field, and then the good tone. I like this image because of the spontaneous quality of this image. We're always talking about shooting good moments, and that high school is full of good moments. This is a good example of just something that really is a spontaneous event where these kids they're not reacting to the camera, they're just doing their exercise or their dramatic interpretation.
Plus the tonality is wonderful.
Yeah.
The composition is very solid. Lots of nice lines that take you back and forth between one person to another.
I see a lot of shots of either a student with a book or a science project, and those seem to be the images that come up over and over again, and yet there are all these moments during the day, as you speak about, for academics where interesting things are happening. We just have to think about how we could take a picture of that, and this student succeeded.
We're not distracted at all by the light. We're really focused, as soon as we look at this image, on the two wrestlers' faces, and it's a very powerful moment.
Feeling the emotion and knowing that the student got on the floor to take this shot, and feeling the emotion and being able to read a story pretty quickly really draw me to this photo.
The other thing that set this apart is a lot of other wrestling photos had really busy backgrounds.
Yeah.
This person controlled it with some combination of telephoto lens and shallow depth of field, which really hits the mark as far as controlling that environment. So what we have are two football players reacting in a game, and that emotion is very raw and genuine, and there's a lot of energy that comes out. The photographer had the peace of mind to be right in front of them during this moment.
And I love how, even though the two players are connected by an arm going around the other, they're facing kind of these opposite directions and kind of coming off the page into two spots.
I love the gritty quality in the sense that one player has what looks like paint on his face. It's a great reaction shot. It's nice light. This is one of the shots where You have to be ready as a photographer for this moment to happen. You almost have to anticipate this moment. Then you have to have your technical elements set ahead of time because it's a challenging lighting situation.
Really like the lighting. It struck me, and just the tone and feel of the photo, plus technically it was very strong, crisp.
I love the moment. I think it's a great moment. I love the tone. I love the fact that the photographer was thinking about their framing when they shot this image. It's very sophisticated for a high school student to shoot that image.
It's not an easy thing to capture that kind of intimacy within your subject, and we get a sense that they know each other really well, or in the very least they're very comfortable in the presence of each other.
I love the connection with the camera. I love the shallow depth of field. That's something that it seems more and more students are understanding the power of using a shallow depth of field to isolate your subject matter.
People see a yearbook photographer coming and they pose for it, but this doesn't have that feel. It feels like this very authentic. She saw the camera and she turned and she smiled, and it feels like her smile, not a forced smile.
The concept, I think, is very straightforward, very simple. It's done really well. It was one of the few illustrations where the story and the narrative actually came through in a very clear and simple way.
One of the qualifications was that the picture had to tell a story, and so this story we could instantly read in a photograph without a caption, without the story written. It tells a story in and of itself.
I love the look in her eye. I love the fact that she is off to the side of the frame. And I think the photograph really communicates a story very effectively.
I love the attitude. I love the framing with the mirror. The colors and the tones are wonderful. But what gets me more is the humanity, the attitude, and the expressions on the faces.
For me, it's a great image. I love the repetition of form. I love the fact that the girls are all posing and sort of in their element. I love the student just walking in, and I love that there's a little motion to her.
That, again, this feels very authentic. It doesn't feel like the girls are posing for the camera. The camera feels invisible to me. It feels like they're posing for themselves as they're getting ready.
One person pick 3. Let's see if...
We each get 3 cups. Well, yeah.
I don't know. I think we have our grand prize.
I do too. Yeah, as we're looking at this image, it's the image that we all like the most. It has 3 markers on it, and I think that is the strongest image.
So what makes this a grand prize winner for you?
The idea of high school yearbook photography. It has academics, it has students engaged in an activity that shows their relationship to each other as well as their relationship to the institution and the school. It's a very positive image, and it's a beautiful photograph.
A lot of the images that we saw today had great elements to them, but something was missing. The technical quality of the image was inferior. This illustrates what good high school photography does, is it makes you think. You want to know what's going on in the shot. It's simple composition, and yet it has a sophisticated quality to it. It kind of meets both of those elements. And
a yearbook is a memory book. You want to go back to it and see these pictures and either remember something or have a story told to you. And I think that happens here. All right. We have a grand prize winner.
yeah.
Congratulations.